All right, shalom, shalom. Call Oyam La Yahweh, Ba Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutations to you, Akim. That's pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. It says World Economic Forum Chair Klaus Schwab says China is a model for many nations. All right. And essentially, what is that model? All right. Um, right now, China has been doing for some time now what they call a social credit system. All right. And first, we're going to look up social credit system, what it means. And then we're going to go into a few articles, and I may have a video to play. And then I have a few precepts, and Lord willing, you Akim are edified, because a lot of people don't understand the direction that society is going into. All right. Why? Because you have certain leaders who are ignorant to the fact. They're unaware to what's going on in the world, you know, and that is you know it's it's tragic to say the least. But again, as the scriptures say, that the deceived and the deceiver are his, and we do lessons like this to forewarn uh, you know our people on what's to come, because the scripture says uh, prepare for the battle. What battle? I'm gonna read it really quick. 2 Ezra 16 and 40. It says, "Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle." All right. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. All right. Because the scriptures explain in the latter times that there's going to be evil. All right. These are going to be the worst times ever. And we're seeing certain superpowers change up, do whole dramatic changes of how they run the society. And one of those ways, which, Klaus Schwab is saying that China is the template for, all right, is a social credit system. So we'll read a little bit about it. All right. It says social credit system is a national credit rating and blacklist being developed by the government of the People's Republic of China. The Social Credit Initiative calls for the establishment of a record system so that businesses, individuals, and government institutions can be tracked and evaluated for trustworthiness. There are multiple different forms of social credit system being experimented with, while the national regulatory method is based on blacklisting and whitelisting. All right, and we know what blacklisting is. That'll stop you from doing certain things. Whitelisting will essentially give you the green light to do certain things. So based on your behavior, okay, it says the program is mainly focused on businesses and is very fragmented, contrary to popular misconceptions that it is focused on individuals and is a centralized system. So they're trying to say that it's not focused on individuals. And clearly, if certain individuals say things about corporations, about the authorities, they can be blacklisted. That's not hearsay. That's what's actually happening. People can't get on the trans. People can't dine at certain stores in China. And this is actually happening, and I think it's been happening since 2016. And hold on, let me go ahead. Stop. All right, so just had to put the do not disturb thing on. So, all right, so let's go into some articles about this, okay? Because they're saying that people got it wrong, but we know when it comes to the authorities, they're very ambiguous when they explain these things. All right, and yeah. So let's go into it. All right, because I don't want to lose my train of thought. All right. China just announced a new social credit law. Here's what it means. All right. It's easier to talk about what China's social credit system isn't than what it is. All right. ever since 2014, when China announced a 6-year plan to build a system to reward actions that build trust in society and penalize the opposite. All right. And that's what they're doing, okay, in society. It's pretty much a totalitarian society, okay. And certain algorithms and things being at the helm, or AI. I'm not sure if it's an AI fully automated, but when it is, it's going to be way worser. But of course, that's probably what they're projecting anyway, to keep the citizens in line. So we're heading into some very different times, and China is the template. But here it is. You got Klaus Schwab saying this is the everyone should follow. What he say? Everyone should follow it. Okay, Slovakia. Right. So China is a model for many nations. All right, and this is at the World Economic Forum. Okay, and these guys, they make the decisions for certain how can I say, societies. Okay, these are the guys that run the IMF, and the IMF runs the banks. And what society is going into is a new age, a new digital age. All right, where they're phasing out the old way, the dollar and certain things. Okay, and centralizing everything. Okay, so it says it has been one of the most misunderstood things about China in Western discourse. Okay, it says now with new documents released in mid-November, there is an opportunity to correct the record. All right. It says for most people outside China, the word social credit system conjure up an instant image, a Black Mirror-esque web of technologies that automatically score all Chinese citizens according to what they did right and wrong. But the reality is that terrifying system doesn't exist, and the central government doesn't seem to have much appetite to build it either. All right. It says instead, the system that the central government has been slowly working on is a mix of attempts to regulate the financial credit industry. All right, enable government agencies to share data with each other and promote state-sanctioned moral values. All right, and yeah, so they get to dictate what values are pretty much are acceptable in society. You know, and nowadays you got the corporations that pretty much do whatever the hell they want, and they don't have any moral value. So if they decide to move millions of people out of a land so they can create a highway or whatever have you, or a ghost city, and people are not with that idea, they can blacklist you, because we know the corporations aren't held to a moral standard. Now they get to dictate the values of people and what they deem fit for society. It says, however vague that last goal in particular sounds, right, it is vague. It's very ambiguous, because we know with certain people that have power, all right, they misuse that power, okay? And we know it's corruption in governments, how much more Edomite ran structure, okay? They're definitely gonna abuse their power, all right? It says there's no evidence yet that the system has been abused for widespread social control. You see? And how can people even trust that? All right. But just so you can get a gist of what a social credit system is, finance is going to be heavily involved in that. Okay. So when the CBDCs do ring out and become the international standard or global standard, all right, these things, they're going to implicate or put that social credit system into play. All right. And you're already seeing it here in America, where if you're saying things that are unsavory, they can cancel you. Okay. And just apply those principles or those applications to what they're projecting for the future when putting in a social credit system. All right. So, and that's why it's impertinent to understand what's going on in the world, and not ignore, you know, and really to understand what's really taking place, when it concerns prophecy, you have to pay attention and connect the dots, okay? Because, we got the understanding of what the market of beast is, but how will it play out in our reality? And here you go. This is part of the structure. This is part of the frameworks, a social credit system that monitors everyone in society and blacklists everyone in society and whitelists them, and we're seeing, certain things take, precedence in society. Okay. Well, you know, so yeah, Salakia, because I don't want to go too far, but let's read this article. All right. It says World Economic Forum Chair Klaus Schwab says China is a model for many nations. All right. And we just read to you the social credit system, and they've been doing it since 2016, I believe. All right. And it blacklists and whitelists people, all right, before their behavior, all right, in society, okay? And he's saying that the world should adopt this, okay? So World Economic Forum founder and chair Klaus Schwabstica recently sat down for an interview with a Chinese state media outlet and proclaimed that China was a role model for other nations, all right? And it says Schwab 84 made these comments during an interview at CGTN's Tianwei, if I'm saying it correctly. It says on the sidelines of last week's APEC CEO summit in Bangkok, Thailand. As Schwab said, he respected China's tremendous achievements at modernizing its economy over the last 40 years. All right. Because they're modernizing their economy. They're modernizing it for for New World Order standards. And that's complete control, a totalitarian system that controls what you what controls what you do and say. Okay, not so much as controlling it, but penalizing you for what you do and say. And we already see basically, what they're doing in the West, the Western part of the hemisphere. They're canceling people. They're doing all sorts of things. If you say certain things about certain individuals, certain interest groups, they can cancel you. And just imagine them having the power of a social credit system. Not only that, a CBDC tied to the financial structure, the social credit system tied to the financial structure, which they're going to overhaul the financial structure completely to a digital based currency, and that's going to be tied to a social credit system, which you got the template in China. That's what's taking place. If you're not aware of what's going on in China, just look it up. So it says I think it's a role model for many countries, Schwab said, before qualifying that he thinks each country should make its own decisions about what system it wants to adapt. I think we should be very careful in imposing systems. Oh man, Esau be full of shit, man. They're full of shit, man. All right, they tread around certain things because they know it's a touchy issue or topic, and they really don't want people to know. But right in front of our faces, they're showing us exactly what they want to do as far as their plan is concerned. They want people to adopt this system. Why? Because they want control, and those that know that these Edomites want control. The scriptures tell you that, man. All right. The scriptures tell you that they heap it unto them all people. That's in Habakkuk. And in fact, really quick, I want to get that because man, Esau is full of it, man. Esau is full of shit, man. All right. And that's why it's important to understand and be aware of what's going on in the world. All right. and not just be simple when it comes to these issues and world issues, especially if it's concerning when they're talking about the global financial system and a global reset. And these are the things that they've been saying in the fourth industrial revolution and all of these different things that they're saying. You got to pay attention to it, because you got guys like Tazariak who ain't got a fucking clue on what is going on at the highest levels, which the information is out there. And you're supposed to be warning your people on the tide that's coming, the tidal wave that's coming, the tsunami that's coming, the tsunami of, laws and regulations and stuff that's about to take place. And you got to connect the dots, because they're saying everything that they want to do in front of us. And you just got to be, you got to have discernment. And of course, you got to understand these prophecies. And the main prophecy is what we're looking for is, Revelations 13 and 15 on down, the mark of the beast, which is going to, which is one of the main prophecies. So, Salakia. All right. It says, oh yeah. So let me get that precept in Habakkuk, because to show you his real agenda. So we know by the scriptures and what they really want to do, and we're seeing in the world that they're showing us they're inching closer and closer and closer to what they want to be done. All right. So Salaki, bear with me for a second. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 4. It says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him." All right. And we could tell these people are not upright, man. These Edomites. Okay. Their souls are not upright in them. Okay. Because they have a nefarious agenda behind all the things that they're saying. Okay. It says, but the just shall live by faith. All right. And that's right. Because the just is going to live by faith in these times, these evil times. And the scriptures warn us. Because this mark of the beast is going to trigger Jacob's trouble, man. All right. With a whole bunch of other calamities, man. All right. It says, verse 5, it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine his philosophy. All right. And that's the philosophy. And China is pretty much taking on what America essentially wants to be or is. Okay. They are taking on, or being, he says, they're a role model mainly for Western countries. Okay. Because it shows you the control and dominance that the few have over the masses of the people. All right. So Salaki says, but their wine is what? The social credit systems, these different systems that they employ and push on the world. All right. And it says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine. So it's a transgression because what? He's transgressing certain laws, certain universal laws that's in of God's laws. All right. That pretty much is in opposition to the Lord's laws and how he set up society. All right. And how society is supposed to be ran and how you're supposed to treat your neighbor. All right. And we're talking about corporations who look at human beings as almost nothing. Okay. So, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So he's full of shit when he says that we need to be careful. I'll read it again. It says, Schwab did not elaborate on what aspects of Chinese model appealed to him. Oh, Slaki, it says, I think we should be careful, be very careful in imposing systems. He's full of shit. All right. You know, they want to heap unto them all people. Okay. So later for that, we know by what the scripture's saying, your true intentions. All right. And that's important. Okay. Because you got to know your enemy. All right. It says, but the Chinese model is certainly a very attractive model for quite a number of countries, Schwab said. It says Schwab did not elaborate on what aspects of the Chinese model appealed to him. Of course not. It says, nor which ones would be beneficial to other countries. What? It don't even make sense, man. All right. You see, it's the system of control that intrigues him. All right. That's what intrigues these people. China is governed by an absolute rule of Chinese Communist Party, CCP, which does not allow people to practice the religion or belief of their choice, and has no tolerance for dissent or criticism. All right. And this is basically what he's, talking about, because they want to create a one world religion, which they're doing. And they got all these different faiths coming together, whether it be Islam, Christianity, which are the main two. They're coming together and dropping all their differences and pretty much uniting under this new world order front. All right. Okay. In 2014, the CCP announced a moral ranking system whereby individuals, government, organizations, and companies are ranked based on social credit. You see? So you get social credit based on what you do. All right. And who gets to set the moral standard? The corporations, the government. Okay. So if certain individuals in the government are compromised by certain corporations, lobbyists, whatever, what have you, they, their interests can be, they could have a wicked agenda. All right. They can have alternative motives, as far as, keep, the people are concerned. All right. And when what they want to do for the people, it says comparisons have been drawn to environmental and social and governance, or ESG scores being used by major financial institutions, and global organizations to create a type of social credit system designed to influence behavior. All right. But they're saying, oh, you don't know. The West doesn't know. They're misinformed. Oh, but yeah, we do, but these people do have control. And, we can't say that they're abusing the system right away. Come on, man. We know there's corruption. And the higher you go up the ranks, the higher you go in politics, the higher you go with government, the more corruption you start to find. All right. It says ESG scores are necessary for stakeholder capitalism. Stakeholder capitalism. This is the wine right here. This is the transgression right here. Okay, because this ain't conducive to the sustenance of the earth. Having corporations run society and set a moral standard, when corporations should be setting no moral standard when they destroy the earth. All right. So Slack, I know I'm doing a lot of talking. So and I want to get to a precept. Okay. It says stakeholder capitalism, a model I first proposed a half century ago. It says positions private corporations as trustees of society. And is clearly the best response to today's social and environmental challenges. When these private entities are the ones that's creating the destabilization of the earth. It says, he wrote, we should seize this moment to ensure that stakeholder capitalism remains the new dominant model. In 2020, without any accountability or transparency, the Chinese government rammed through a national security law for Hong Kong, which critics say it says, which critics say gave authorities a pretext to brutally crack down on pro-democracy activists, right? So they can essentially go after anybody that's against their rule of law, all right, and give you points based on, what you do, your behavior according to the moral standard that they set. So precepts, all right, and this is dealing with China, or Asia, or Moab, okay, who have pretty much taken on this obvious westernized way of running their society. Okay, because it's really what they're really doing in China is nothing more than a pre-run to what they are going to establish all over the world, and they're going to use crises. They're going to use crises, all right, to bring this in, so to speak, to have that as the excuse. Oh, global warming. Oh, we need, and especially global warming, which is, again, as the scriptures say, the transgression by they transgress it by wine. And obviously that global warming and the laws that's going to be put in place because of global warming, all right, is transgressing the Lord's law. Isaiah 24 goes into that. How they transgress the laws and change the laws, and therefore the curse is over the earth, So, precept, 2 Ezra 15 and 46. All right, this is dealing with Moab, all right, because he's saying they're a role model, but really Moab has adopted Esau's standard, all right. They want to live like Esau, and so they're doing things like Esau is doing, all right. 2 Ezra 15:46, it says, and now Asia, that are partaker of the hope of Babylon. See, okay, and Babylon represents you Edomites, okay, and your main hub is America, all right, the Western, all right, Western civilization. Western civilization comes with a whole philosophy, all right, and the hotbed for Western civilization or Western civilization values is America. But it's Esau at the helm of it. It's Esau's world. This is his kingdom. All right. And thou, Asia, all right, dealing with Moab, it says, thou that art partaker of the hope of Babylon. You see? Klaus Schwab is saying, oh, they're role models. All right. It says, and art the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. You see? And that's what they had done. Those Moabites made themselves like Edom. They wanted to be like Edom. They got the godlike complex, and they're imposing their totalitarianism on people, numbering the people, doing everything Esau would do and has been doing. Okay. It says, and has decked thy daughters in whoredom. All right. That they might please and glory in thy lovers. You see? Who are your lovers? Edom. Okay. That they might please and glory in thy lovers, you see, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. You see, so it says, thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore said the Most High, I will send plagues upon thee. So you have followed the ways of those who most hated, and who's most hated? Esau. You see, and your society structure is based on the philosophy of Edomites. Okay, so dude said he wanted to do this a half century ago. All right, if I got it, if I'm saying it right, he wanted to do this 50 years ago. All right, so it says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. So the Lord's he's going to get busy on you Moabites. Okay. And the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower. The heat shall rise that is sent over thee. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. Damn. So Lord's he's going to punish Moab. All right. Okay. It says, would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, said the Lord, if thou hadst not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of thine hand, and saying over their dead, when thou was drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. Yep, because you gonna have to pay for. Uh, um, See, you thought it was just Edom, you know, persecuting the Lord's chosen, but it's all these nations. All right, it's all these nations. Okay, and Moab is one of the top nations. All right, who's going to be paid back for its injustices and paid back for being the image of or the hope of Babylon. Okay, so there's just got to be a few more precepts. This is Job 20 and 22. All right. This is for the Edomite power structure. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Straits meaning a difficult position, difficulty. All right. Because you think that that your enterprise is going to come to its fullness. All right. But it's not. Okay. And that's when war is going to ring out. Okay. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And the Hebrew word for wicked is imal, which goes into the oppressed. Okay, so every hand of the oppressed, essentially the citizens, are going to pretty much fight back. Okay, when he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So Esau's plan is to take over the whole world with these systems. And when he's in the fullness of his sufficiency and sufficient, that's when the Lord is going to, drop the bomb on him. No pun intended. Well, pun intended. Okay, because the war is going to come. Okay, it is drawn and coming out of the belly. Yea, those silos, right? It says the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All right. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. All right. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of the house shall depart. Yeah, man. So the Lord is going to not only destroy Moab, but he also going to get Edom too, because this ain't a Moabite system per se. Okay, this is an Edomite venture. Okay, and they've taken on that. They've taken on that mantle, so to speak. Let me see Isaiah 14:9 really quick, because it says just this point here. All right, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, meaning death. All right, it stirred up the dead for thee, even the chief ones of the earth. It had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All right, and they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Okay, so the Lord is going to even the playing field with all of this, with all of your ventures and all of these, with you fulfilling the sufficiency of your enterprise on the world. The Lord is going to, you're not going to be at the top of the food chain anymore. All right. There's people that's going to be gunning for your spot. All right. And in reality, the Lord is turning these nations against each other to bring them all down. Okay. All right. It says that pomp is brought down to the grave. And the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. All right. And that's dealing with the corrosion and corruption of your society. All right. Let's see, Job. And this is the last one. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Just want to touch on this article because, they think that these systems that they have in place is going, dominate the world, and that this is just, this is their heart's desire being fulfilled. And this Job 5:12, it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. And you're going to fall on your face with this one. All right. They meet in darkness in the daytime and grow up in the noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth. You see? And all the things that they're setting up, that's their mouth. All right. That's their laws that they're passing, that's their mouth. Okay. And the Lord is going to save the poor from that. Okay. From these different things that they're putting in motion. All right. These laws that they're putting in motion, which are oppressive. It says, and from the hand of the mighty, so the poor that hath hope and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. And that's what's going to happen, man. All right. Lord, this lesson was edifying. Just wanted to touch on this article really quick, because if you don't see by now where the world is headed, you completely blind. Okay. You're completely blind. And I really wanted to do this lesson for people like this guy, Tazariak, all right, and his followers. Because, when you go deep into what Esau is doing, man, it's clear as day what they want to do for the world. They want to enslave the world, and they're going to do it by way of the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. And what's going to be centered around the mark of the beast is a social credit system, yeah, man. And they're already showing you in the West what they're doing with people that they don't like and people that speak out against any form of oppression. All right. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.